Good morning, it's Wes McCain. My in-studio guest today, we have Jill Reese. Now, you're the K through 12 Instructional Services Coordinator. Did I say all that correctly? Because that's a really long title. I want to make sure I get it all correct.
You did.
And you're with Talk, Say, Sing. It's the early literacy campaign for West Allis and West Milwaukee school districts, correct?
Correct.
I got this all right?
You did.
I'm very impressed with myself. Okay, well, let's get right to it. What is exactly Talk, Say, Sing?
So Talk, Say, Sing is an early literacy campaign that the district started in an effort to help parents prepare their kids to be school ready. One of the things that we have really noticed in working with parents and working with kids over the course of the last few years is that kids from backgrounds coming to school that are disadvantaged just come with a lot less vocabulary and a lot less word recognition than kids from higher advantaged backgrounds. And so we just really want to give parents free and inexpensive ways to help them build that vocabulary base with their kids.
Well, let's start right from the top then. Like, where do you begin? Where do they just go to your website and it tells you, or do you guys work hand in hand with the parents?
It's a combination of things. So the first thing is everybody has access to our website, and our website is on our district webpage, and you can access free resources there. There's a lot of tips and tricks and free resources right on the website. In addition, if you're a district resident, you can come to our administration building and pick up a resource bag. And that resource bag has some things in it that will help you promote that vocabulary and early acquisition of literacy.
Now, obviously, a lot of people listening right now may not be in the West Milwaukee, West Allis school districts and all that. Is this beneficial to people that aren't in your school districts?
We really believe it's beneficial to everybody. So we would encourage people to log on to our website, even if they're not in the district, and look at the different resources we have there. We will be updating and adding things regularly to it. And everything on there are things you can do at home or things you can do with minimal cost. It's not about going and buying a big expensive book or toy. It's really about kind of grassroots things you can just find in your home or you can talk to your kids about.
How are you guys compared to other school districts? Do other school districts do something similar to this, or is it you guys are kind of the trendsetters?
This is sort of a trend-setting
Just
opportunity.
Go with it. Be arrogant about it. Come on, this is cool.
It's pretty trend-setting and pretty revolutionary, actually. There isn't really anything like this out there by other districts.
So this is very beneficial if you're going to Milwaukee or Franklin or Oak Creek, that this could be beneficial to any students. And is it of all age groups? Because, you know, you're the K through 12. So is it beneficial to a kindergartner and an eighth grader, or is it just more of the kids that are just starting out?
Well, it's this campaign in particular is focused at early literacy. So it's focused at really younger, like preschool kids to about 5 years old. But the benefits that has K-12 are what we are looking for. So, and the parents will see that too. So the benefits are community-wide, which you asked about all the different communities. Community-wide, Southeast Wisconsin, if you want to go that broad. But also then starting with early literacy is where we're providing the resources. And then from there, it should impact kids as they get older.
So as you log on and give the website real quick before I move on with the question here, what exactly is that website again?
So our website is wawmliteracy.weebly.com.
Okay, and so when you log on to that, me being a parent, and I'm kind of a lazy parent, I want the teachers to teach my kids. I don't want to have to do a lot, but is there going to be a lot of work for me working with my kids then as well?
Some of it is, when you say a lot of work working with your kids, it's really just about talking, singing, and saying things to your kids. Now, there are tips and tricks in there for different manipulative things. Like, for example, one of the things that we talk about is little kids like to use pots and pans to make noise and clang things together and build things. And so that's something that most everybody has at home, and you don't have to go out and buy, and you can sit down and talk with your kids about what they're doing. So really it's about spending some time just talking vocabulary and talking language acquisition with kids. Much of what happens with parenting, especially when we're all busy and we have a lot going on, is we're giving a lot of directions to kids. Get in the car, tie your shoes, sit there, get up, come over here. And those aren't the types of things that are building vocabulary base for kids. So this is more about thinking, oh, we're in the grocery store and there's all kinds of different colored fruit and vegetables. So I'm going to talk to my child about the colors and the shapes, and I'm going to get in the car and I might sing a silly song or something to that effect, versus just saying get in the car and shut the door and things like that. So just really expanding our vocabulary as parents when we talk to kids in regular situations.
Let's talk about, is that the main tips and tricks that you're kind of talking about, is stuff like that? Or is there other tips and tricks that you're going to learn when you go onto the website?
There's more. In addition, there's tips and tricks for reading, tips and tricks for math, tips for singing. Yeah. not voice tips, but tips for singing, and just things you can find around the house on top of just yourself to help your child.
So this is a campaign going on right now. Obviously, we're already into the school year by a couple of months and everything. Has this campaign been going on for a while, or is this just something you guys just kind of kicked off recently?
We officially kicked it off about 2 weeks ago. All of our schools in the district have literature and signs and things, posters that go along with this. And so we wanted to make sure our schools had all those resources before we started kicking it off in a more broad sense. So probably about 2 weeks ago.
And what does the campaign exactly consist of? Is it more just raising awareness? Is it getting awareness for the website? What exactly are you looking to accomplish with the campaign?
I think it's threefold. It's raising awareness of the issue. It's awareness then of the website and the literature that we have to go with it. And then it's awareness for parents of the resources and things they can do to help their kids.
And do you guys do a campaign like this because some of our school districts are behind, maybe nationwide, behind everybody else, or what is the purpose behind it? Is that what it is?
The purpose that sparked this for us was looking at our student data and seeing where we could help to impact our kids that were behind and impact them to be more successful as they get older.
Okay. And is this the first year for the campaign?
It is.
It is. And how's it going so far, do you feel?
So far, I mean, I said we're about 2 weeks into it, so it's fairly new, but we've gotten really good response. We have given out several of the resource bags so far, and we have schools calling on a daily basis to ask for more information that they can share with parents.
Oh, so this isn't part of the schools, or is this, are you talking schools outside of your district?
It is part of the schools, but the way we have it set up is we have the literacy bags located at our district office, which is 1205 South 70th Street in West Allis. The schools don't actually have the literacy bags, but they order them from us, or we will bring them to them if they have parents that request them.
Sure. Let's go back and talk a little bit about what Talk, Say, Sing is, in case somebody's just kind of joining us, and what you guys are looking to achieve with the West Allis and West Milwaukee School District with this campaign.
So Talk, Say, Sing is the early literacy campaign for the West Allis, West Milwaukee School District, and it's really focusing on helping parents to learn free and inexpensive ways to help their children develop vocabulary and develop thinking and problem-solving skills that they will then bring to school. We're focusing on kids that are probably preschool to about 4 or 5, but hopefully then moving into later years in school.
So year in and year out, you can continue to use this as a tool for you to help your children?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And what is the difference between something that I teach my 4 or 5-year-old compared to like an 8th grader or a 9th grader or something like that?
I think the main premise of this is that as a parent or as an adult working with a child, you don't have to go buy something to have a conversation with your child that brings in rich vocabulary and brings in different types of vocabulary. And so as kids get older, you're not going to sing a song about tying their shoes, but you might have a more rich conversation with them about something they're doing in sports or as an activity or something that they've done during the day. And I know in my experience, older kids will say, you'll say, how was your day? And they'll say, fine. Or you'll say, how was school? Great. You know what I mean? You don't get these answers, but as a parent, continuing that conversation, continuing to bring vocabulary into it, continues this Talk, Say, Sing down the road.
So what do you suggest? Like I have a daughter that's an 8th and I have 4th and 3rd graders. When they get in the car and I say, how was school? Fine. What did you learn today? Nothing. So is this where this could become beneficial, like where I could use this resource to be able to ask them more questions and more leading questions?
We do not have particular resources on the website for that, but it would be taking what we have on the website and expanding upon that as a parent and saying, so for your 8th grader, thinking about, well, I know today my daughter is going to say fine, and like she does every other day, yep. And saying, kind of pre-planning what your conversation is going to be with her on top of that. So, oh, fine. Well, what was fine about it and what made it fine, and continuing to ask questions and then prompting her. We actually somebody that I work with in the district actually had a similar situation with their high school daughter. And the high school daughter at one point said, "Mom, I know you're going to ask me more questions, so I'm ready this morning."
That's good. So is the Talk, Say, Sing, is the campaign, is this beneficial to every student, or is it just more students that maybe are a little behind when it comes to their learning and what have you?
So it really is for every student. It's not, no matter what, it's not going to hurt anybody.
Sure.
You know, I mean, all of this is good for every kid and good for every kid in Wisconsin. So no matter what, it's going to be beneficial. It's not, there's nothing detrimental in it.
So this is your first year with the campaign with Talk, Say, Sing, and in the West Dallas and West Milwaukee School District. Are you looking to bridge this out to other communities and have other school districts take this off, or is it just something you guys want to do and you're going to focus on you?
You know, we've really focused on West Dallas, West Milwaukee right now because this is where it was born. Mm-hmm. We'd be happy to partner with other people if they're interested in it and talk to them about it and give them information about it and share. But right now we're focusing on really getting this going in West Dallas, West Milwaukee, and then sharing beyond that if other people are interested. We're talking with Jill Reese. She's the K-12 Instructional Services Coordinator for Talk, Say, Sing, which is a literacy campaign going on right now in West Dallas and West Milwaukee. Since it's your first go of this, would you see this campaign taking off and you doing this year in and year out, or is it something that's going to kind of continue on from today, early November, throughout the whole year, and just kind of something you guys always continue to do? Well, our vision is that it would continue and take off, and we would add some other components to it. But as we do that, as we go through the process and we go through the timeline, we'll need to see where it goes. One of the things we have in our vision is that we eventually start a bookmobile and some other things to go along with it. And that would be not until summer. We would like to continue adding a little piece to it each year that we do it, and bookmobile is the next thing on the list. Now, is this something you guys came up with, sitting around a big group of people, or is this something that you found somewhere else in another school district, maybe in another state, and you kind of morphed it into your own? So initially, there was a task force that was put together on early literacy for the district that we studied a whole bunch of research and looked at our district data and looked at what kids really needed. And we put together some things for teachers. And then I brought forward to them that we needed to fit in the parent component. And so this is the parent component of that. And actually, I had been on a vacation in New York, and they had a commercial that would run in the subways in New York that was just about talking to your kids. And that was it. That was the commercial, just talking about. And I thought, oh, that is really cool. We could do something with that. Sure. So I brought that back to the early literacy team, and we talked about it. The next step was then we took it to our district communications committee, and they were very excited about it. And that sort of just sparked what we needed, and we went from there. So, are you getting good feedback from parents and districts and teachers and all that? We're getting excellent feedback. It's still fairly new, so not a ton, but we happen to have a spot on one of the news stations on Monday, and so we got a lot of feedback about that, and a lot of feedback from people, just different people in the district about that, and asking them for more information and more resources, and just helping them to be ready to share with the parents in their schools what was going on. What percentage of people do you feel in the West Dallas, West Milwaukee school district are going to utilize this? Do you think you probably want 100%, but do you think that you're going to get a lot of the people that are receptive to using this? I do think we will, but I don't know if we will actually know those exact numbers because, like I said, these are things that you can log on to our website and do, or these are things you can pick up a resource bag about, but these are also things that if you just have the information, as a parent, you can work on yourself. So you don't necessarily need to come to pick up a resource bag to be able to revamp your language you have with your kids. Mm-hmm. But if you're given the information on how to do it and you're given the information on thinking about it, it's something you could do without even picking up the resources. Is there anything in here to help us parents that have no idea how to do your kids' homework? Because I've run into that a lot when it comes to math. I have no idea how to help my kids with the math. So there's got to be something in there to help me learn how to do the math that my kids are doing. We didn't quite get into that. Maybe that can be stage 3. Yeah, I was going to say that needs something. But is it a learning process for the parents too when they do log on of things they need to learn to be able to help their children? Or is it more something that just goes, the light bulb's going off. These are things I probably should have been talking to or doing with my children already? I almost think it's more of an awareness, like a light bulb going on, saying, oh, if I just can slow down for a second and think about what I'm saying and really take this really simple everyday situation and turn it into a teaching situation, we'll be in a good place. And I think we all get hurried and busy in our lives and hurried and busy in everything we're doing and with our kids. And we, like I said, get into the thing where get in the car, close the door, tie your shoe, that type of thing. And we forget that we're not developing vocabulary. We're not developing thinking by doing that. We're just giving, commands and directions, and that's not the same.
And do you think that that's part of the problem is that how busy we are as a society? I'm a parent, obviously I'm a divorced parent and I have 3 kids and I have, my job and you never get away from it. When we were kids, our parents, when they came home from work, that was what they did. They did homework with the kids and then we watched TV or whatever. Do you think that's part of the problem is how busy society is now that we don't pay as much attention to our kids and what they're doing and learning in school?
I absolutely do. And I absolutely think that's why it comes back to awareness and comes back to just being aware that we are in that place. Society is busy like that. And if we are, then here's some things we can do to help with that. And it's not an indictment. It's not pointing fingers. It's just saying, here's where we are as a society. So let's work on this and let's work on this together and do good things for kids.
I do my best Facebooking between 4 and 6 p.m. I can't help it. Can't focus on that stuff. So right now there's either parents that are within the West Allis, West Milwaukee school district or maybe not. And what do you suggest to them right now? What do they need to do to jump aboard with something like Talk, Say, Sing?
So the first thing I would do is log on to our website. And our website is wawmliteracy.weebly.com and check out some of the resources and tips that are on there and just look through those and think about them. The next thing is if they have additional questions, there's contact numbers on there for people they can contact in the district. And then just start thinking and reflecting on different points in the day or parts in the day where they can start to have conversation, singing, talking with their kids in a different manner than they are right now.
So when we say campaign, you usually say, oh, it's going from November to December. How long, and we may have discussed it a little bit before, but how long is this campaign going for? Just until you guys are on to your next thing, or is there what are the time limits on it?
So is there a finite date for the end?
Sure.
We're looking at running it for the school year. So the finite date would be June, but as I mentioned earlier, phase 2 is looking at some kind of bookmobile that would be in the summer. So, finite is June, but not finite is continuing on with phase 2 and phase 3 and those things. So, we believe that if it takes off and it's successful and we get good feedback on it, we will continue it through this year and into next year, with some additional things put on, but we're looking at running it for this current school year and see what our results are.
I feel like, when my kids come home and they have homework, it's already, oh man, I already have to help them with their homework. This isn't like homework for parents to do too as well, is it?
It is not. No. And if you get a chance to log into the website, you will see that when you read through those things, it's very simple things that many of us, when we look at it, we just go, oh my goodness, yeah, that's something I can do in 2 seconds, or that's something I can just think about and try different tomorrow. So it is not about homework. It's not about writing a paper. It's not about turning in a worksheet as a parent. Sure. It's nothing like that. It's really about just reflecting a little bit and thinking about what you're doing as a parent and revamping a little bit.
Sure. And in America, our test scores are lower than they've been since the early 90s. So obviously this is very important. We need to teach our children now. So we only have about 2 minutes left. I want to make sure that we get as much information about Talk, Say, Sing and the campaign that you guys are doing in the West Allis, West Milwaukee School District out so people get more information, so people will jump on board, like I said, and help their kids become a little more smart.
So our goal is that we really just offer free and inexpensive resources to parents so they can help their kids build their vocabulary base, build their knowledge acquisition base and problem solving, and help them get ready for school and into the future. We have a website that people can log on to, and it's wawmliteracy.weebly.com. We also have resource bags for people in the district to pick up with some free resources in them, and they can be picked up at 1205 South 70th Street in West Allis.
Well, fantastic. We have Jill Reese, K-12 Instructional Services Coordinator with West Allis West Milwaukee School District, and the Talk, Say, Sing campaign going on right now. Thank you so much for coming on and explaining, and hopefully a lot of people jump on board and jump on the website and learn more to help their kids learn more.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.